Have you ever walked past an older man sitting alone on a park bench and wondered what his life is really like? Not the polite version he might offer if you asked, but the actual daily reality of navigating the world solo after decades of partnership or in the absence of one. There's a particular kind of silence that fills the homes of older men living alone, a silence that's both a refuge and a challenge, offering freedom while demanding resilience. Today, we're addressing 6 uncomfortable truths about this experience, truths that often go unspoken but deserve honest examination. These aren't meant to discourage but to illuminate, because understanding these realities is the first step toward navigating them with dignity and purpose. Let's start with something that happens so gradually that many men don't notice until it's become deeply entrenched: the erosion of daily structure. When you share your life with a partner, your days have natural rhythm. Mealtimes happen because someone suggests eating. Errands get done because someone mentions the milk is running low. Conversations punctuate the hours, creating natural breaks and transitions. When that partnership ends, whether through death, divorce, or simply never having formed, those external structures vanish. Suddenly you're the sole architect of your days, responsible for every decision about when to wake, what to eat, which tasks deserve attention. For many men, this freedom initially feels liberating. No one's scheduled to accommodate, no compromise is necessary, complete autonomy. But without intentional replacement structures, that freedom often devolves into chaos. Days lose definition. You wake whenever sleep releases you, rather than at any particular time. Breakfast becomes optional, then lunch, then you're eating one meal late at night, standing at the counter. Tasks pile up because there's no urgency, no one asking whether you've called the doctor or paid that bill. The mental framework that kept life organized gradually dissolves. The consequences extend beyond mere disorganization. Poor nutrition accumulates into weight loss or gain, into vitamin deficiencies that sap energy. Missed medical appointments mean conditions go unmonitored and medications run out. Reduced physical activity because you're not walking to shared activities or maintaining a home for two leads to declining strength and balance. Even cognitive function suffers, because the brain thrives on routine and purpose. When every day is structureless and identical, mental sharpness dulls. But here's the encouraging part. Rebuilding structure is entirely possible through small, deliberate choices. Set an alarm and honor it, creating a consistent wake time even when you don't have anywhere to be. Commit to preparing one real meal daily, not elaborate necessarily, but actual food eaten sitting down. Schedule a regular walk, same time each day, giving your body and mind something to anticipate. These simple anchors create momentum that extends into other areas. Structure breeds structure. The discipline of one routine makes the next one easier. You're not trying to recreate the life you had before. You're building something new that works for who you are now. Now let's address something even more insidious because it masquerades as contentment, the slow slide into isolation. This doesn't happen suddenly. No one wakes up one morning completely cut off from the world. It's incremental, a series of small withdrawals that seem reasonable in the moment. You skip breakfast with the guys because you're tired. You don't return that phone call because you'll do it tomorrow. You decline an invitation because the weather's bad or you're not in the mood. Each decision makes sense individually, but collectively they form a pattern of retreat. For many men, especially those raised in generations that valued self-reliance and emotional restraint, solitude initially feels comfortable. There's no pressure to make conversation, no need to pretend you're doing better than you are, no obligation to accommodate others' needs. But what starts as comfortable gradually becomes heavy. Days pass without meaningful conversation. Weeks go by without anyone noticing whether you're struggling. The silence that was peaceful becomes oppressive. The danger of isolation extends beyond loneliness, though that's painful enough. Regular social interaction stimulates the brain in ways solitary activities can't replicate. Conversations challenge you to think, to respond, to engage with perspectives beyond your own. Physical presence with others provides emotional warmth that no amount of television or reading can replace. When these interactions disappear, mental acuity suffers, mood darkens, and even physical health declines. Studies consistently show that socially isolated seniors have higher rates of virtually every health problem, from heart disease to cognitive decline to premature death. The path out of isolation requires intentional action, which is difficult when you're already withdrawn. Start small. One conversation weekly with someone who matters to you, whether by phone, video call, or in person. Join one group, it doesn't matter much what kind, where you'll see the same people regularly and they'll notice if you're absent. Volunteer somewhere that needs reliable help, creating accountability beyond your own motivation. Say yes to one invitation you'd normally decline. These small steps rebuild social muscles that have atrophied, reminding you that connection is possible and valuable. Let's turn to something that particularly affects men living alone: the challenge of health maintenance. When you share your life with someone, that person serves as early warning system. They notice when you're moving differently, when your color looks off, when you're more forgetful or irritable than usual. They remind you about medications and appointments. They ask whether you've followed up on that symptom. Living alone, all that responsibility falls solely on you, and it's remarkably easy to let things slide. Men are generally less proactive about healthcare than women, often waiting until problems become severe before seeking help. Living alone amplifies this tendency. That pain you're experiencing, you tell yourself it'll probably go away. That medication refill, you'll get to it next week. That annual checkup, you feel fine, so why bother? Without someone pushing back on these rationalizations, health issues that should be minor become serious through neglect. The consequences can be severe. Chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease require consistent management that's difficult to maintain without accountability. Medications taken irregularly lose effectiveness. Symptoms that should prompt immediate medical attention get ignored until they trigger crises. Even injuries can go unnoticed longer when there's no one checking on you daily, turning minor incidents into major complications. Creating systems compensates for the absent partner. Keep a health journal, noting symptoms, medication times, and changes you notice. This written record helps you spot patterns and provides valuable information for doctors. Share access to your calendar with a trusted friend or family member who can remind you about appointments. Use technology like smart pillboxes that alert you when it's time for medication. Most importantly, schedule regular check-ins with someone who has permission to ask direct questions about your health and challenge evasive answers. Remember that attending to your health isn't weakness or neediness. It's fundamental self-respect, an acknowledgement that your life has value and deserves protection. Men who are providers and protectors for others sometimes struggle to extend that same care to themselves. But you cannot care for anyone else if you've neglected yourself into incapacity. Taking health seriously is how you maintain the independence you value. Here's a truth that's particularly difficult to articulate: the emotional weight of an empty home. The silence in a house without a partner has texture and presence. It's not just the absence of sound, but the absence of witness, of someone who knows your history and shares your context. You can maintain a cheerful exterior when out in the world, but at home there's no audience requiring performance. That's simultaneously freeing and crushing. Many men carry profound emotional burdens in silence because expressing feelings seems incompatible with the strength they've cultivated across a lifetime. You might look fine, act fine, tell everyone you're managing well. Meanwhile, inside, you're wrestling with loneliness, regret, grief, or simply the weight of too many thoughts, with no one to share them. The absence of daily affirmation, of someone who cares about the small details of your day, creates a slow emotional shrinking. This isn't clinical depression, necessarily, though it can lead there. It's more subtle, a flattening of emotional range where days become interchangeable and motivation fades. That project you meant to start never quite gets started. Those friends you intended to call never quite get called. You're not actively unhappy, just gradually less present in your own life, going through motions without genuine engagement. The remedy involves learning to externalize what you've spent decades internalizing. Find someone, whether friend, family member, counselor, or support group with whom you can speak honestly about your internal experience. This violates everything your generation learned about masculine strength. But that learning was incomplete. True strength includes acknowledging vulnerability and seeking connection when you need it. Your emotions and experiences matter regardless of whether anyone witnesses them, but being witnessed makes them more bearable and less isolating. Let's address something more visible but equally important: the decline of living spaces. When two people share a home, maintaining it is distributed labor. Someone notices when trash needs taking out, when dishes have piled up, when that repair can't wait any longer. Living alone, all household tasks fall to you. And it's surprisingly easy for standards to slip. You'll wash that dish later becomes a sink full of dishes, becomes why bother? That cluttered corner becomes a cluttered room, becomes a home that barely functions. This matters far beyond aesthetics. Neglected homes pose real hazards. Clutter creates trip hazards that lead to falls. Unmaintained kitchens breed bacteria that cause illness. Broken fixtures that go unrepaired escalate into larger problems. Beyond physical dangers, your environment profoundly affects your mental state. Living in disorder and decay erodes self-respect and reinforces the sense that nothing matters. It also prevents having people over, deepening isolation because you're embarrassed by your home's condition. Breaking the cycle requires making home maintenance manageable rather than overwhelming. Divide tasks into small pieces. Don't try to deep clean the whole house in one day. Instead, commit to washing dishes immediately after using them. Do one load of laundry weekly on a set day. Take out trash before it overflows. These small, consistent actions prevent accumulation that becomes unmanageable. If physical limitations make tasks difficult, ask for help. Many communities have services specifically for seniors who need assistance with home maintenance. There's no shame in accepting support that allows you to live safely and comfortably. Finally, let's discuss perhaps the most existential challenge: the struggle to maintain purpose. Much of men's identity traditionally derived from roles: provider, protector, problem solver, partner. When those roles diminish or disappear, what remains? For many men living alone in later years, this question looms large. The work that defined you is finished. The partner who needed you is gone. The children who depended on you are independent adults. What exactly are you here for now? This loss of purpose manifests as restlessness, as days that feel interminable despite being filled with time. You might stay busy with activities that feel somehow hollow, motion without meaning, or you might drift, waiting for the day to end so you can sleep, then waking to face another empty day. The absence of someone to share experiences with makes those experiences feel less significant. Who cares if you saw something interesting on your walk if there's no one to tell? Rebuilding purpose requires intentional exploration of what brings genuine satisfaction now. Not what used to matter, but what actually matters today. For some men, this comes through volunteering, applying skills and experience to help others. It's deepening relationships with grandchildren or reconnecting with siblings. It might be pursuing hobbies that were always sidelined for more pressing obligations. It could be learning something entirely new, proving to yourself that growth remains possible. Purpose doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as maintaining a garden that produces food for neighbors, or calling someone weekly who needs connection, or walking a shelter dog that needs exercise. What matters is that your actions feel meaningful to you, that they give you reasons to face each day with anticipation rather than resignation. Purpose keeps your spirit engaged with life rather than merely enduring it. As we close, remember that these 6 truths, the erosion of structure, creeping isolation, health maintenance challenges, emotional weight, neglected living spaces, and lost purpose, are common experiences, but not inevitable destinies. Awareness allows intervention. Small, intentional changes compound into significant improvements in quality of life. Living alone in later years can be a time of remarkable freedom and self-discovery if you approach it with honesty about the challenges and commitment to addressing them. If you're living this reality, know that reaching out isn't weakness but wisdom. Building new routines, maintaining connections, attending to health, expressing emotions, keeping your space livable, and cultivating purpose are all choices within your control. You've navigated difficulties throughout your life. This stage simply requires different strategies, but you're entirely capable of developing them. Share your experiences in the comments below. What's worked for you in maintaining structure, connection, or purpose while living alone? What advice would you offer others facing similar circumstances? Subscribe to our channel for more honest conversations about aging, independence, and creating fulfilling lives regardless of circumstances. Your engagement helps us reach more men who need to know they're not alone in these challenges and that meaningful solutions exist.